This is Scott Storch, and you know I got soul.
Hello.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah, hey, how you doing?
It's Tom from You Know I Got Soul. We're big supporters. Thanks for the interview.
Oh, no problem.
Just kind of want to, start off early in your career, take it back. Can you talk about, kind of your beginnings with the Roots, how you kind of started working with them and that whole situation?
Okay. You want me to answer you by following the questions this time now, or just, ask me formally? So just go ahead.
You could just go right into your answer.
Okay. I started with the Roots in around 1992, in the middle of 92. There was a gentleman by the name of Richard Nichols whom I met in Philadelphia, and he was developing acts, and he was managing my career at a very young age, 16, and he came across Questlove and Kid Black Thought, so we tried it, and we paired us all up together, and I joined the group, and we, we just were jamming on the streets of South Philly, on South Street, and borrowing power from stores on the street and get set up, and we got discovered at a block party at Cecil Dugmore Avenue by a guy named Derek Jackson, who was there to see something else, and somebody dragged him over to see us perform, and we then he obtained a deal for us with Geffen Records, and that was it.
Cool. You've had a chance to work with Dr. Dre as well in your career after the Roots situation. What was the difference, working with him, compared to doing your solo stuff?
I guess it's fun to collaborate. It was a team effort there. I guess you're dealing with people with all different talents, and everybody gets to have their say. It's almost like you're a band. My dad was Dre, myself, Dre, Melman. We were all willing to against the wall and just seeing what was working, and everybody was, I guess, very, very, good in the room, so people had the ability to know when the best thing is happening, and if everybody didn't really just try and, dominate. It was just like, oh, that's the best thing. We all latch onto that, whether it be Mike or myself, but somebody always had that little idea, so, and it was the chemistry. There's something, also great about, being a control freak and working on your own stuff and developing stuff by yourself. You get to, use your own vision and everything, but it's cool to do it, both different ways, and that's it. You get different things out of it. Making music should never be one formula. I always find that if you do it one way at the same time, the same way all the time, it can sound one-dimensional. So, it was a learning experience when you're watching other people co-produce with you. You think about what maybe they would be thinking and their perspective when you're doing things on your own, so it helps you grow as well.
No, definitely, that's a great point. So, tell me about one of the biggest hits you've had, a hand in producing, especially R&B wise, and that's "Let Me Love You" by Mario. What do you remember about creating that one?
That song was something that just so fast, it was just almost like I made the record in terms of the music portion, the track, in under a half hour. It was just something that just, not many elements, just the particular things I used worked. It was simple, a bass, a Rhodes, drums, and a little one line, a couple of strings. And then the afterthought was, okay, well, I'm going to add a bridge and do some kind of cool Michael Jackson off-the-wall kind of bridge, something in that world. And it was cool. And collaborating with Nino, top line, and this guy, a real close friend of mine, Cameron House, that chemistry was amazing, and they complemented each other, and it was great. At first there was doubt that the record was going to even make the album, and then in the 11th hour, a guy named Peter Edge called me and said, "Yo, we really love this record that was just, sitting around that you had done for Mario." And I said, "I liked it too." And it became, number one for many, many weeks.
Definitely. Great job on that one. That's a classic right there.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful. It's one of my favorites.
Right.
It's a warm record.
Definitely. Another artist you had a chance to work with, we've been big supporters of him. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. Static Major. I heard you had a chance to work with him as well. What do you remember about working with him?
It's so funny you mentioned I just saw his widow the other day, and it was so sad because I really miss him a lot. He was a great guy. He and I were just getting him started on a bunch of writing and stuff together, and man, he was an incredible talent to me. He's maybe sitting with Alita right now. I think that he helped mold her, and that was his baby, and it's exchange two people, and they're both no longer with us, but he was a genius, and I miss him very much.
Definitely. So you recently you've been out of the spotlight the past few years in terms of music. How'd you know? I read you're getting back into music now. How'd you know now was the right time to start getting back in the swing of things?
A multitude of reasons. I redid my sound. I call it wood shedding. I created some new type of sounds, and I've been working on for some time now, and I just feel like inspired. I have some great partners that have helped me find my passion for music again and my drive for success. And it would be an insult to what God gave me and the passion and the ability to make the music, and it's just I really have a certain clarity right now and a certain inspiration that just got me going in overdrive, and I'm ready to work the ridiculous amount of hours that it takes to make a difference and really show multiple songs and charts at the same time the way I did it, and those my past years, and I just had to unspoil myself. When you go so far into this business and you make a lot of money, you get spoiled and you start you're not as excited about what you were doing or why you were doing it in the first place, which is when I was young it was for the love of the music, and I found that again. Right.
I mean, did you ever have thoughts of stepping away for good? Because I know in the music industry that there's a certain lifestyle that comes along. There could be a lot of pressure. It's just tough sometimes for artists. Was there ever a thought that you maybe wouldn't do music again?
No, I didn't think I was gonna stop completely. It's always been that way. And it's that time, and I think the whole world is going to be very surprised at the new sound and the amount of energy that I'm putting into music again.
Right.
And I'm the first to have to be reckoned with. I'm working.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Definitely good to hear. Can you tell us a little bit about this new sound you've been working on and you're coming with?
I would just say it's a hybrid of all music from the past 100 years.
Yeah. Wow. That's deep. Okay. So, talk about some of the projects or artists you're currently working with.
Well, I just got done working with French Montana, and I'm working with Ryan McDermott, who's on the West we're planning a whole slew of art just on the day. There's talk of me going
Right. Okay. And just finally, you've had some, issues that were well publicized and stuff in the news, but, what's some advice you could give to young musicians who think the industry is all, just glitz and glamour and it's just all easy, what to, avoid the path that you may have went down? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to respect music and not depend on a machine to make it, and to be able to make it with your hands and actually play keyboards. If you're programming on keyboards, learn how to play with more than one finger, and to not depend solely on samples, because that's music that's already been created. And learn an instrument. Whether it be guitar or be keyboard-driven tracks, and just have a better understanding for music, because it's really hurting. I feel like a lot of the music is being hurt by the simplicity, and people are robots, so they'll conform and get programmed into thinking everything is good if they're force-fed these songs, and people are trying to beat budgets and in music, they're trying to use their in-house producers to save a buck or to own the publishing or whatever. Respect the industry, respect the records, respect the music, and make a difference. Do something with some integrity.
Right.
And, show the love for music and don't disrespect it.
No, you're exactly on point with that. So, that's all we had. Yep, definitely. So, that's all we have for you. Is there anything you'd like to add on?
No, just I appreciate you guys doing an interview with me, and hopefully everything in my point comes and gets conveyed correctly, and I just look forward to, future interviews.